So for a long part of my life, I've always been envious of like the popular kids. You know, those kids who have just massive friend groups, they constantly get invited to parties, they're constantly posting up something on the gram. I've always been envious of these kids ever since I was young. And as I've gotten older and deeper into my self-improvement journey, I've realized how absurd this feeling of envy was. Over the years, by going through self-improvement, I learned a lot about myself, and I realized that being alone doesn't necessarily mean being lonely. Personally, my biggest growth in life came from these long periods of time where I just had to spend lots of time alone. And of course there were times when I felt genuinely lonely, like I felt like an outcast, like I had no friends whatsoever. And to this day, this feeling does sometimes come. But my mindset on it has completely changed, and that's what I want to share with you today. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have no friends, no one to talk to. This isn't one of those I'm 27 and have no friends videos that are becoming like very increasingly popular on YouTube. I want to put a twist on things and explain to you why I personally love spending lots of time alone and why I prefer to keep my social circle small. Now, you see, when you're alone, you figure out a lot of things about yourself that you wouldn't have otherwise found out if you were living this constantly extroverted, constantly partying, constantly hanging out with someone lifestyle. In my opinion, most people in today's society have become way too reliant on others for their happiness. They constantly need to go out somewhere, they constantly need someone to entertain them, whether they're friends, whether they're family, or video games, or social media. They constantly have to keep up with things. You know what I mean? Now, I've met lots of people like this in my entire life, and if we're being completely honest, the only reason they're like this is because they're brutally uncomfortable in their own skin. They start experiencing FOMO, the fear of missing out, if they're not constantly going to festivals, to parties and stuff. They're just uncomfortable in their own skin. They have no purpose other than to go with the flow. They don't actually want to go out of their way to figure out what to do with their life, because that requires a lot of mental effort. Coming to terms with all of your flaws and who you are as a person requires mental effort, whereas going with the flow requires no mental effort whatsoever. Most people would rather just follow the traditional path of get a 9-to-5 job, go to school, get drunk on the weekends, hang out with people, go to festivals, play video games, scroll on social media. But if we actually sit back and analyze this kind of lifestyle, where is the time off? Where's the time where you just sit alone in your room with nothing but you and your thoughts, no external influences, and you just sit there, bro? Where is the time off? Exactly, there's none, and this is absolutely detrimental, because if you're constantly preoccupied by someone or something, you lose all ability to think for yourself. And if you can't think for yourself, you won't be in control of your own life and your future direction and trajectory in life. And if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's life plan, and guess what they have planned for you? Not much. You'll be like the feather from Forrest Gump, constantly flying from happy place to sad place, from happy place to sad place, and you just never know, but you might land in dog shit. In my opinion, in today's society, most people have just become so NPC, they've become completely AFK. They never question anything, they just go through life like that feather I just mentioned. They never question why they hold the beliefs they hold. They're very easily influenced by others. They never actually sit down, analyze their life, and just question themselves. Why am I living this boring lifestyle? Why do I hold the beliefs I hold? They never do that, bro, because they have no time off. They're constantly preoccupied. They're too busy scrolling on social media or constantly hanging out with someone. Too many external influences. There's no time off. They never sit down and think, maybe I could use some exercise. Maybe I should start eating healthier. Maybe I should stop hanging out with drug addicts because they're maybe impacting my life in a terrible way. Maybe I should make my family and lineage proud. They never sit down and self-reflect. And this is detrimental. How are you going to improve your life if you can't self-reflect at all? And you constantly have no time off to think about why you act the way you act. Why you continue to live this boring lifestyle. If you were to sit these people down in front of a TikTok that said something ridiculous like being fat is healthy, these people would literally believe it. They would defend that opinion because they stand for nothing. And I'm not here to judge these people, man, but you clicked on my video and I can tell you're different. You probably resonate with my message and you probably have a brain and a personality, man. And you also might happen to have a small social circle. Maybe you clicked on this video because you do happen to resonate with what I'm going through. You don't have like that big of a friend group. And contrary to what society may be telling you, man, I think you are very blessed to have this small circle, man. I think you are very, very blessed. In my opinion, having a bunch of friends is very overrated. I'd rather have 1 or 2 very high quality friends than a bunch of just okay friends or acquaintances, as I like to call them. Most people are so caught up with trying to please everyone, to have as many friends as possible, to go to as many parties as possible, to the point where they'll completely lose sight of their life purpose, their goals, and the things that truly matter in life. And of course, social interaction is a very important part of your life. I'm not saying that you can't interact with people or that you shouldn't. I believe it's very important. I'm just saying that you should be comfortable with being alone, man. Because there will be periods of time in your life where you'll have to spend lots of time alone. It's inevitable. And if you're so reliant and fixated on other people for your happiness, man, you won't be able to survive these periods. You just become a depressed, lonely loser, constantly craving validation. And as you can tell, this is not a very sustainable way to live. Because if you're constantly needy and stuff for other people's attention, you'll happen to attract very low quality people. You'll just be chasing validation, man. And I don't think that any of you would want to live a lifestyle like that. I found that if you are able to survive this so-called lonely period in your life, you'll at some point experience a breakthrough. You'll get this realization that I'm completely reliant on myself. I can't rely on others for my happiness. No one's going to do anything for me. You're completely self-reliant, bro. And this is an amazing breakthrough. And I noticed that when you do happen to get back into friend groups and you become more social, because you will at some point have to become more social, bro, you'll carry this mindset over. And the best part about this, man, you'll start to attract people who are similar to you. People who are also self-reliant like you are. You won't be, chasing low-quality people and validation, man. You'll attract people who are very similar to you. And this is when you'll truly develop good social connections in life. And after all, if you think about it, a real friendship is much more than just entertainment, having fun, going to parties. A real friendship is about growing and progressing together, man. That's what you should prioritize. These people who are constantly using others for their entertainment or, Instagram story, woo, I'm having fun, bro. You can tell that these are the most miserable people, man. They're not actually friends. They're just using each other for like social clout, like, oh, look, I'm at a party. This is so fun. You're not having fun, bro. The people that are having fun are those entrepreneurs grinding together, hitting goals, making their family and lineage proud. Those are the kind of friendships I want to be in personally, man. Maybe you don't want to, but personally I do, man. And I find this way better than just those stupid friendships where you just have fun together. Another benefit of being alone and having a smaller circle, and this is more of an obvious one, but this is you have so much time to work on yourself, man. Look, if I hadn't gone through my lonely period in life, I wouldn't have discovered the gym. I wouldn't have built, like my dream body. I wouldn't have been on the path to building it. I wouldn't have had a good diet. I wouldn't have had good grades in school. If I was constantly out partying and constantly chasing validation, man, I wouldn't have had time to develop myself. You wouldn't even be watching this video, bro. Because it was during this true lonely period that I discovered YouTube channel, man. This is when I actually enjoyed making videos. I discovered it because I didn't have that many friends, man. So I started to figure out what my life purpose is. And I discovered YouTube, man. And now I enjoy doing this, man. This was what truly brings me fulfillment in life. But the fact that I'm alone a lot of the time, man, I feel like I have so much more time for deep work. I feel like I have an edge to other people. I'm not saying this from an arrogant or cocky point of view. I just feel like I have an edge to other people. While they're out partying and being degenerate and getting drunk and taking drugs, I'm out here grinding, working on my purpose, and actually allocating time for my social connections, like hanging out with my girlfriend or with my family. And I actually have quality relationships with them, other than trying to please people who don't mean nothing to me, man. And I would instead just work on my purpose, man. And I feel like this puts me way ahead of all of my peers, man. And this is something that I really value about being alone. This is why I personally love it. Sometimes in life, our circle decreases in size, but increases in value. And I want every person watching this video to ask themselves, am I after quality or quantity? And on that note, I want to end off the video, brother. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to join my self-improvement Discord in the description of the video. Here, you'll actually be able to meet like-minded people who are on self-improvement, man. I recently opened the Discord, so make sure to join it. If you enjoyed and resonated with my message, be sure to subscribe, join the movement, man. We're going to become a big YouTube channel one day, and I really hope this helped you out. And I'll see you in the next video. Пока, брат.